Real quick before we get into this video, I just recorded it. Y'all gonna like it. It's a really great video, but I forgot to plug it at the end. The Giannis Greek Freak Championship edition of Showing His Ass shirts are out. I released them right after they won a championship. The link to those will be in the description. Cop you some. It's history. Giannis is a champion. We've coined the Showing His Ass phrase. So get those. Let the video begin. They did it. They did it. They did it. They did it. Congrats to the Milwaukee Bucks, the 2021 NBA champions. It is so crazy. I just got back. I went out to watch this game 6. I'm just a basketball fan. I had to go out and feel the electricity. It was good to be around other people and just feel that vibe of the NBA Finals and the excitement from everybody at the bar or whatever. It was just, good basketball energy, which ultimately is bittersweet because it was the last game of this magical, wonderful season that I've talked about so many times in these postseason recaps about, the unpredictability. The first time things have kind of felt even. I know injuries were a big part of this playoffs, as they always are every year, but a little bit deeper this year. It felt, a little bit more significant, but it allowed us to have something unpredictable, which is been rare in the last few finals of the decade, and it was something that felt competitive and even, and it kind of went how we thought it would be. We kind of all thought that this series was going to go 6 or 7 games. We all hoped for 7 games, but even when the Suns started off 2-0, we still didn't feel like, there's going to be some sweep or some boring finals. Even though it kind of did feel like that, we knew deep down inside that this was going to be an even finals and that we would go 6 or 7. So that was good to see. I don't want to spend a lot of time going into things because I think this is just a celebration. Like, I'm just so happy for Giannis, watching him, dominate this game, and to win this finals in this fashion. For me, it's just it's great to see. It's great to see. So much is going to change, not only for him but for players of his mold. I think he's breaking through, and not breaking through, but he just broke through something monumental that's bigger than him. I don't even think we are grasping right now what this championship means overall. I think all of the magnifying glasses are going to be on what it means for Milwaukee and for Giannis individually, but you have to understand, a player of his mold is now, the stock of that type of player goes up, and now it's not so much of, can you win with that type of player? It's kind of like Steph Curry. Before Steph Curry and the Warriors won, and I'm talking about pre-Durant, there was a theme out there of like, can you win with jump shooting teams? Because I grew up in an era where there was 7 seconds or less Phoenix Suns teams that were good during the regular season, but then when the playoffs come, they would always run into somebody who were a little bit more well-balanced, and it just was like, can you win with a jump shooting, perimeter-centric offense? Is that really going to work? And Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors were the team that broke through and said, hey, you can win like this. It is possible. Even if you have Run DMC back in the day where it was Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullins, and Mitch Richmond, it was like, okay, this is exciting, this is cool, but can it win the ultimate championship? And, Steph Curry and that team broke through, and now this new era and new generation of players is like, that's different and weird. And there's been so many conversations. It's the Giannis mode, where it's like, they're big, they're strong, athletic, but they aren't the most skillful. They don't have the bag, and there's so much to talk about as far as what they don't do. He doesn't shoot jumpers. Ben Simmons doesn't shoot, and obviously Giannis is on a way different level of Ben Simmons. But it's just still the mold. Even Scotty Barnes in this upcoming draft. I think Giannis winning this, it puts more confidence and more trust, more hope that you can win with that. It shows that you can. Not even hope, but it just shows that you can. So that's what I'm taking in as far as the overall picture. But as far as the game, because that's what y'all came for. I know that's what y'all came for. And I haven't done this in the recaps, but I am going to pat myself on the back, man. I am going to pat myself on the back. I love my basketball intelligence. I'm confident with it. I know a lot of y'all know me from the podcast, know me from my YouTube channel, me talking basketball, and I'm super confident in my knowledge and my perspective because I've put in over 10,000 hours into the game. I'm not just an arrogant person, or I'm not this asshole person that people think I may be because of my passion. And sometimes it comes out in a brash way, and I may yell and get animated because it just means that much to me. I really love the game, and it really does flow through my veins, so it brings out the passion. But also, like I said, I really know that I really do this shit, and I'm patting myself on the back because a lot of the shit I talked about, which you won't see on mainstream media or mainstream TV, and they're not really going to go over, it's really going to be about the stars and how much, oh, Drew Holiday, he has to score 20, or, which it's obvious if you just look at a box score. That's easy to take apart. But what we've done here, and I'm saying we because I feel like everybody who's consistently watched, we're kind of forming this community within each other of like perspective and how to take things away and to learn and just look different than everybody else. Look at the thing in the game different than how everybody else is. So my first thing as far as the game, y'all know I go right to the turnovers. The Suns won it. The Suns won the turnover battle. It was very close. It started off super sloppy. I got a lot of tweets early when I was at the bar. It was a good night. I went with my cousin, King of the Fourth Quarter, sister Taisha was there. My mom was there, and then my dad was there. And then when I got there, I seen some of my dad's friends, and then I called my dad, told him to come. It was just a cool little event. But when I was watching, I would periodically check my phone just to see what fans were saying, and because, like I said in the last video, I enjoy doing these and then watching the game and getting opinions from y'all that shows that y'all watch the recap and are growing y'all perspective and looking at it through my lens, and y'all tweet me about offensive rebounds. So I got a lot of tweets today that was like, man, this game is sloppy, turnovers, and it was. Both teams were just sloppy with the ball. You could tell it was a lot of jitters, a lot on the line, just energy, you know what I mean? But yeah, 18 turnovers for the Bucks, 14 for the Suns. Devin Booker, we're gonna talk about him. Not his best game. 8 of 22, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, but more importantly, 6 turnovers. Devin Booker really struggled with the ball today as far as taking care of it. It was real tough for him. Same thing with the Bucks. 18 turnovers. It's tough for the Bucks. They were sloppy with the ball at times, but they were able to make up for it because of the other category that I talk about, which is the offensive rebounds. They had 11 offensive rebounds against the Suns, 6 offensive rebounds, which to me has been the biggest component. Like, I feel like that's why on the podcast like a week ago or a while ago, I think it was after Game 4 when they tied it up and we were talking about who do we have in Game 5. And I remember Kenny talking about the Suns losing while shooting 50%. It was an anomaly, so he's going with them. And I was saying I got the Bucks because the Bucks have figured out the key to this series. And the key to this series is the offensive glass for the Bucks. That's been the way. Every series, especially when you get to the finals and high playoff games, I feel like when you're playing against great teams, against other great players like Devin Booker, Chris Paul, even little glimpses in the previous series, DeAndre Ayton. And they're a good team. The Suns are a great team. They earned their way there. They competed. They didn't fold or anything. They just lost to a better team. But the way that the Bucks won is by finding a little key, and that was offensive rebounding. This is a night where Pat Connaughton came off the bench, didn't score a bucket, not 1 point. But he had 8 rebounds, and out of the 8 rebounds, 2 were offensive. And it was just certain plays where I saw Drew Holiday hustle and just wanted more. And I'm telling you, it's very little and it may seem very insignificant, but it's so important and valuable to get those second, third, and fourth opportunities to get a basket, especially when all of these games, beside like 2 of them, have been so close. Like, it's just a play here or a play there that can change the ultimate, grand scheme of the game. Even like missed shots, like Mikal Bridges missing that dunk, like that, those 2 points changes the whole game. If they have those 2 points at the end of the game when they were like down 6, and if it was just a 4-point game instead of 6, it means everything. Everything is all different. Giannis. I talked about Giannis at the free throw line because that's my next point is the Bucks. I kept talking about gratefully in Game 5 they were able to escape, even though they shot 50-something% from the free throw line. But I kept talking about the 2 games they won at home after going down 0-2. it was night and day how they shot from the free throw line. They were below 70% in the first 2 games, and then the next 2 games at home when they tied the series up, they shot 80% and above. Game 5, they shot 50%. Middleton didn't really get to the line until the end. Same with Jrue Holiday. Giannis missed 7 of them tonight. Giannis missed 1 free throw, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2 free throws, 17 and 19 at 89%. Giannis shot 89% from the free throw line while shooting almost 20 of them. That right there is what I mean about Giannis winning the ring, but it just means so much because he didn't leave Milwaukee. He didn't join the super team. He didn't really care about what everybody had to say, and this is how he wins it. 50 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 blocks, 60% from the field, almost 65% from the field, and 89% from the free throw line. And this is a guy that all we talk about, myself included, I've talked about it, not as of recent, but I'm not going to lie. I've said it before about Giannis' lack of bag or the lack of shooting. And I'm going to give myself a little pat on the, not pat on the back, but I'm going to cut myself some slack because I've never tried to go in on Giannis. I've just stated what the facts were. You know what I mean? But we as the media and as fans, we have nitpicked Giannis. We all should be able to be man enough and women enough to admit that we overdid it. And it was good to see him kind of say, who cares? What can we say now about anybody, really? What can we say? We do a lot of nitpicking as the media. And I'm just grouping us all together. Some of us do it more than others. Some of us do it, not as tasteful, distasteful as some others or disrespectful. But what does it all matter? That's what I mean about Giannis winning this way, because a lot of stuff now, when we talk about different players, what will it matter? If they can get the job done, who cares if Ben Simmons don't ever shoot threes? If Scotty Barnes comes in and he's the same way as Giannis and Ben in some type of similarities as far as shooting and being better downhill, who really cares? Because you can achieve it. You can achieve it if all the stars align and you take advantage. So that was just great to see from Giannis. But as a team, they shot 86% from the free throw line. He went 25 of 24. That was good to see. The Suns did a good job. They shot 84%, right underneath the Bucks. They didn't get to the line as much, 19 to 29. The Bucks got there 10 more times. For me, like with the Suns, I'm gonna be honest. One of the reasons I also said I wanted to pat myself on the back is because I highlighted so much the importance of emotional currency or emotional stability or influence and impact. And Bobby Portis, I kept highlighting how he won't blow you away. He's not about to have some 27-point game like Mikal Bridges or anything off the bench. But it's the fact that it's the energy impact that he has that doesn't show up on a box score. And again, tonight it showed at home, getting the crowd pumped. The little fake ass scuffle with Chris Paul. You know what I mean? The threes and the energy after. It is so live in that building when he does that. And even on the road, when there isn't a crowd, it just means so much to your team to be like, oh, let's go, we got this. And I know y'all saw when they was unveiling the trophy and everything, Giannis hugged him and they had that conversation. It's like, because I know as a fan, as an ex-player, and as a guy who looked at it through the lens that I look at it, I know Giannis is telling them, like, you know what I mean? Like, you are a part of this. We couldn't have done this without you. And tonight was a night where he did play crazy. 16 points, 3 rebounds is incredible. He almost outscored the Suns bench by himself. The Suns as a team had 19 bench points between Cam Payne, Frank Kaminsky, and Cam Johnson. And by himself, he had 16, Bobby Portis, which is incredible. He hit some threes. The Bucks struggled. They needed it. They shot 6 of 27 from 3, which is 22%. Disgusting. Still found a way to make it win because they did a lot of the little things, like hitting the offensive glass, like knocking down free throws, like causing turnovers. Even though they lost the turnover battle, they still caused 14 turnovers themselves. And they limited the Suns' looks and opportunities. When you're playing Frank Kaminsky, you're not really going to hit the offensive glass like that, if we're just being honest. And the Suns didn't really shoot it that much better. They shot 6 of 25 for 24% from 3. And like I said, Devin Booker 29 points, DeAndre Ayton 12 points, 6 rebounds. And I said it in game 5, after game 5, DeAndre Ayton needed an emotional charging game where he didn't have to blow us away with the stats. I didn't need 25 and 13 from him or anything like that. But emotionally, I needed to feel his impact on the floor because I really haven't felt it in any of these games this series. I'm not saying DeAndre Ayton was ass, terrible, or bad, or he's the reason. But I just felt like emotionally, I would have liked to see him take that step and just put his imprint and his presence in this series like we've seen it in others. I felt that way against the Clippers. I felt like, man, Ayton is alive and here and he's all over the court. You know what I mean? 18 rebound games and things like that. Versus now, even when he had a double-double in game 5, I said in the video, it was like, I didn't even know until I looked at the box score after the game, which is why that's one of my favorite things to do, is to just try to watch the game and not look at the box score as much as I can. They're going to put stats on the TV, and you don't have to avoid the stats at all means, but it's not being so drawn to be like, oh, he's doing, because then as you keep looking and checking, it keeps going in your head, so you're seeing it consciously to know, oh, he had a double-double, he's doing his thing, but just watching and not looking as much as you can, it's like, oh, damn, I didn't even realize he had this. You know what I mean? Like, you knew Giannis was doing this thing. You know, Giannis hit threes, he hit mid-range jumpers, he shot his free throws and was making them. He had dunks, he had blocks, he was all over the place. Even if you didn't know he had 50, you knew Giannis was the player of the game because he was everywhere. In any instance, he did everything. Everything. And that's why that's one of my favorite things to do. And I just didn't get that feel from Ayton throughout the course. Chris Paul, good bounce back game with 26 and 5, 11 and 19, 3 turnovers, his damn self. But yeah, just it was a tough loss, man. It was a tough loss. But I can't harp on the Suns and what they didn't do because they lost to the champions who played a very good game, man. Like, I cannot get over the fact that Giannis just had 50 and 14 with 5 blocks while shooting 89% from the free throw line. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And a lot of this stuff, like I said, I pat myself on the back, which I really don't try to do a lot on the YouTube because y'all just here for educational purposes and entertainment. But I talked about the Bobby Portis impact emotionally and off that bench. I talked about the offensive rebounds and how important that was. I talked about the Bucks' success when they shoot 80 plus from the free throw line. I talked about the impact it'll have if Giannis can cut his free throw misses from 7 to 8 to 4 and 5. He didn't even need 4 or 5 tonight. Only 2 misses. You know what I mean? I talked about the importance of a guy like Pat Connaughton coming in and rebounding as much as he did. I talked about, Bobby Portis and just their bench, those two being their bench, and it really outplaying the Suns. And I talked about the Suns' lack of energy, lack of an emotional guy like Bobby Portis to match his emotion. I talked about how detrimental the 3-ball was going to be and how much of a role that was going to play. You know what I mean? And on a night where the Bucks didn't shoot it as well, it didn't matter because they didn't allow the Suns to shoot it as well. I talked about Ayton having to step up and be, present in this series, and it just wasn't there. And they still fought hard, put a great series out, and won 6 games, like I said. But I'm just so happy for the Bucks. You know what I mean? For their team. This is a team that in my lifetime they've never been that type of team. They've never been close to the finals. Like pre-Giannis, the Bucks, my memories of the Bucks was like I liked their team with Brandon Jennings and Bogut. I remember Brandon Jennings saying Bucks in 6 against like the Heat, which was like idiotic at the time. I remember Michael Redd with the Bucks was like a cool little trendy team. Ray Allen and Big Dog with them and Sam Cassell. But this Bucks team is a championship team. Giannis stayed for the community and for the fan base. Drew Holiday was the upgrade and the missing piece that we all said, and he showed that. Chris Middleton is now on that stage. We criticized the hell out of Coach Budenholzer for not making no adjustments. Don't really think he was making too many anyway. We all can still stand on that. But he's a championship head coach now. He's a championship head coach now, which is crazy. Giannis and his team is that good where Coach Bud, who we still all probably think the same of, is a championship coach. So Drew Holiday almost had a triple-double. Him and Middleton had 8 steals combined, 4 steals apiece. Not the best shooting game for Middleton, but it didn't matter because Giannis pulled it out. And all these stats and shit don't even matter because the Bucks are the champions. I'm so happy for Giannis. Like I said, this means so much more than we are grasping right now. I'm just letting everybody know that this is kind of groundbreaking. You know what I mean? A lot of the talk and focus will be on just them winning, but the impact on basketball that this is going to have for the mold and Giannis type players that are about to start coming more and more now that they're success. Just remember me telling y'all it was so fun. Now it's time for us on there to get ready for the off season. So I'll see y'all soon. I'm Pee Wee the Plug. This is NBA Weekly. Peace.